What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Artt butter deck. Alright, so first things first. This deck comes in quite a number of different sizes, actually. I believe it comes in 5.5 by 21, 22, and 23. And it comes in 6 by 22, which is this one. And it also comes 6 by 23. And I think it also comes in a 5 by 20, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure about that. I'll have to double check that. Okay, so it doesn't come in 5 by 20. I thought it did. I was getting it confused with something else. But for those of you who don't know, if you're watching this video, you don't know much about scooters. So usually scooter decks will be measured in inches. So it's 6 inches wide this way and 22 long from the blunt plate right here on this side right down to the back here at the end of the dropout. So this one's 6 by 22. So 6 wide, 22 long. All right, so let's get into some more detailed specs about this. So I'll probably start from the head tube and work my way back because it's easier. So the head tube, usually scooters have welding around here, which is like, you know, because usually the down tube and the head tube is like a separate piece, but this one actually, the head tube and the down tube are all one piece. So there's only welding from where the down tube meets the deck and not up here. Sorry, that side. Not there, because all that is one piece. And I guess it does make it stronger because it's only one piece, like I said multiple times. So yeah, the head tube and the down tube are one piece. It's also, it's an 83 degree head tube. Head tube angles don't really affect my riding that much. I don't feel like they make a big difference. Some people makes a bit of a difference for them. Some people like their bars further away from them, some like a more pulled back. But I think it's really balanced for this particular size. I found it was really easy to like whip around. But yeah, so that's the head tube and down tube, and we'll go to the blunt plate. So it's basically sort of flat with this like little crook groove here. Yeah, I don't do blunts or crooks. I'm not that good. But I'd assume this would be nice for crooks and blunts. I actually did do a few blunt stalls. I'm not very good at them, but I did a few and it felt like it locked in really nicely. And then we'll move down. Obviously, this is probably the biggest thing you noticed straight from the start. There's this massive cutout straight down the middle, and on the bottom as well, it gets a bit wider. Obviously, that's just to reduce weight. It doesn't affect how it performs apart from its lighter. But it was really interesting when I first got it, and I really enjoyed, like, it was really cool being able to ride and see like the ground like through there. It was pretty cool. But yeah, that's that. And now we'll move back to the back. As you can see, we've got these rounded dropouts. They make 5.0s a lot easier. And something very nice and unique about this scooter is that these dropouts, they're actually nylon, so like a plastic type on the outside, and on the inside they've got a metal dropout, and then there's a nylon sleeve that goes over it. Basically just slides easier because nylon on metal slides better than metal on metal. It's super nice, and basically that's the reason why this is called the butter deck, because it slides like butter. I'll give you a closer look at the dropouts in a second, but I'll move on and talk a bit more about what the general specs of the deck. So I don't have a tape measure with me. I was gonna measure like how much actual foot space you get from the end of the down tube all the way to the fender, but no one really cares about that. At least I don't. It's a 22 long deck. You're going to get a good amount of foot space. So we're going to move on then. This deck can run up to 125 by 30 mil wides. It can run 12 standard. So it comes with the spacers. Interesting thing, another thing about these dropouts is that these spacers for the wheels are actually built in to the deck plugs. And I'll show you that in a second. So yeah, 125 by 30 wheels, 125 by 30 mil wheels. I'll show you what extras it comes with. So you saw the fender on the back, and it also comes with this, the metal flex brake. This actually comes on the deck, but I don't like brakes, so I changed it out. And here I'll show you, it also comes with another set of the deck plugs, and the reason for that is because these are the spacers for the 30 mil wide wheels, so the wider ones, because they're going to be wider, so that's going to need smaller spacers. Now that we're here, I'll show you how these dropouts work. So, as I was saying before, it's got a nylon sleeve that goes over it. I'll show you that. So here's the actual dropout itself, which is it's metal, and it's got this hex shape in it because what this part actually goes like through the back of the deck and into like the wheel area, so it like acts as like the spacer is built into the plug, which is really interesting. It's actually a very unique design because it's not on any other scooters. And so here's the nylon one that slides in like that, and then it goes through there just so it doesn't like spin around when it's on. And then yeah, it fits really snug like that. And I'll show you also, it also comes with these. It's really hard to show on camera because they're really small. Here we go. 12 standard. My camera's going to focus. Focus, please. There we go. These little 12 standard sort of spacer things. Basically what you do is you get the 30 mil wide deck plugs, and you put this little circle on it. It should slide on and sort of clip in. There we go. Like that. And yeah, it just stays snug there. When you tighten it up, it'll hold itself. And if you don't know what 12 standard is, it's basically 12 mil standard use a 12 millimeter axle or like a 12 millimeter bearing. So the bearings are a bit bigger than normal. And obviously it would need more, like if you just have this, because that part sits on the inner bearing, like the inner circle of the bearing. And because the bearings of 12 standard would be bigger, you need these like sort of extender things to basically have more room to push on the bearing. Because if you just had, I can't even get it off now. That's all right, I'll use the other one. So if you just had the little bit, that would actually go like inside the bearing, and you can't have that obviously. So this part, you just put that on, nearly dropped it. You just put that on and it holds the wheel in place. Another thing, this deck weighs about 1.9 kilos, I think. So like most people think, oh, big deck, it's gonna be super heavy. No, it's honestly not that heavy. Like I can throw it around easily. It's not heavy at all. And like obviously it's not gonna feel that heavy when you're just holding it. It's going to feel a little bit heavier when you're on your scooter. Like if you're used to something that's like 4.7 wide by 19.5, then yeah, it's going to feel bigger. It's going to feel heavier, but it's not really that heavy, to be honest. It's not as heavy as people think it is. One more thing about the deck is the bottom of the deck is actually slightly curved, and it like apparently gives more control for grinds, because if you're starting to slip out a bit, you can sort of like balance on an angle a bit. Like if you're sliding on the rail and you're sort of leaning back a bit, and you can sort of like, because it's curved, it'll like hold itself on that back angle a bit better, I think. I don't know, that's what I did find that in that situation. Yeah, it did help, but I personally just don't like the curve underneath it. Because I only just recently learnt grinds and learnt rails, and I think having a curved deck sort of threw me off to start with. Like I really struggled to balance, but like for some people it's normal because that's how people learn, and most decks are sort of like that, unless they're just like completely flat, no like channels in the middle, just completely flat. But yeah, so if you're used to that, then it's fine. If you're not used to it, it's still fine. It's not a problem. I just personally didn't like it. All right, so I think that's everything. That's all there is to say about this beautiful looking deck. This is probably one of the best decks that I've ever ridden. Like, it's my favorite. It's not the deck that I'm currently riding. Like, I got a bigger one, and it suits me better, but this was probably my favorite deck that I've ridden. Like, it's just super nice. I know that Urban Art's really strong. They make really strong, really light products. But yeah, I think that's all for this review. Hopefully you found it useful if you're looking to buy this deck. But yeah, if you are looking to buy this deck, I highly recommend it. Really good. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you want to. Don't have to. I don't care. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you found it useful. See ya.